Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live chat here on MASNsports.com. Steve Melewski with you. Often in the seat here is Adam Jones, and he will be here a little bit later today. But we're very fortunate to have with us today Oriole first baseman Chris Davis. And Chris, thanks for coming up and hanging out.
Absolutely.
Actually, some exciting things are going on in your life right now. As Buck mentioned yesterday, you may be missing a game or two here coming up for some very good reasons with the birth of your first child, but you're playing it very cool right now with this approaching.
I'm freaking out underneath this cool demeanor. So, yeah, I told Buck yesterday, kind of let him know the plans for the next couple of days. But we all know how that goes. Once you make a plan, everything else goes the other way. So appreciate Buck letting everybody know.
Right, right. A lot going on in your life right now, but you're playing cool and having fun. And thanks for coming up and taking some time for us. As fans who have watched these chats before know, we have a lot of fun. We talk about some baseball stuff, some non-baseball stuff, and everything in between. And the guys, Chris and Adam, nice enough to be real fan-friendly and answer a lot of fan questions. So let's dive right in, Chris. One from Johnny, who wants to know, if the position came up again, would you pitch? And which position player on the O's do you think would be the best pitcher?
If it came up again and I absolutely had to, I would not do it because I would screw it up. And now, guys, the word's out. You know, I have somewhat of a scouting report now. I don't think I'd do it again. I have a flawless record in the big leagues. I will forever have dirt on any big league pitcher, no matter what. And if I had to see somebody do it, I'd probably want to see Nicky do it. Left-handed, I know he throws hard. I've heard he can run it up to 95, so I'd probably say Markakis.
So you got a lefty and a righty, but
yeah.
You say Buck should go with the lefty here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
How much do you get asked about that, by the way?
A lot. You'd be surprised. And last night it was funny because, you know, the fans that were hanging around towards the whatever inning, 13th inning, they started yelling, "Put Davis in!" I'm like, "No, don't say that." So it was, it's fun. You know, it was a highlight in my career, something I'll never forget.
Right, and you pitched before in your past. It wasn't like you'd never been on a mound.
Yeah, I had, and leave it to Buck to know that. I had pitched a lot in college. Was actually probably going to be drafted as a pitcher at some point. I don't think I would ever have gone that route, but it's good to have in my back pocket.
Absolutely. Let's take some more for Chris Davis with us here on our MASNsports.com live chat. Adam Jones will be in a little later. Anna wants to know, what's your favorite place to eat in Baltimore?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Baltimore is probably one of the best places for food that I've been in. Ever since we've been here, we've tried to go around and really scout out the neighborhood or wherever we're at. I really enjoy Blue Moon Cafe. If I'm going to do breakfast, that's probably one of my favorite spots. Tough place to get into. But my first choice is probably going to be Abbey Burger. It's hard to beat a hamburger. They have some of the best hamburgers.
They have an Adam Jones burger there, don't they?
I've never had the Adam Jones burger. We'll never get the Adam Jones burger. But yeah, they have, you know, any kind of meat that you can think of. You can pretty much customize your own burger. It's a good place to go.
Sounds good. Let's get one from Lindsay. If you could decide your own next T-shirt giveaway, what would be your slogan for yourself?
Oh gosh, that's tough to think about. We tried to do some slogans this year and make up T-shirts, but we're not good at that stuff. People who do that are in the right place, and I mean, obviously, I think the obvious choice is something with Crush, because that's kind of a nickname that everybody's grown fond of. But I'm not. I'll leave the slogans to the fans. I saw something the other night or last night, like flexing like Crush or something like that. I thought that was kind of cool. I saw it on the Jumbotron. Not that I wasn't paying attention to the game.
You always have time to sneak a peek.
That's right.
Let's get one from Sarah. What's the best advice Buck has given you?
Oh, Buck loves to give advice, and he gives it quite often. The best advice he probably gave me was right when I got traded over here, and he basically just told me to be myself, not worry about pleasing anybody or trying to act a certain way, just to be myself and enjoy myself. And it's kind of the identity of our team. You know, we have a lot of guys that, I don't want to say they're rejects from other teams, but they're guys that were with other organizations that got a chance to come over here and play. And we have a good time. We wear each other out. We have a lot of fun, and I think that shows on and off the field.
Yeah. Buck seems to have found with you guys together, you found the right mix of having a lot of fun, keeping it loose when you need to because it's a long grind in there, but being serious to get done what
Right.
needs to get done.
And we understand that, and that's kind of it's almost like a privilege that we have. You know, we know that as long as we take care of business and do what we're supposed to, that he's going to allow us to have fun, and he lets us police ourselves, which I think is huge. We don't feel like we have a long list of rules to follow, but at the same time, we know that we can't just go in there and horse around all day.
Mm-hmm. Won't ask you for a specific example of policing each other, but obviously what you're saying, if I'm reading it right, is if something's a little out of line on the field, guys aren't afraid to let each other know.
Right, right. And if you have been in our clubhouse, which you have, it looks like basically like a video game arcade or a small carnival festival, if you will. We have all kinds of ping pong. We have pool tables. We have the putting green, and those are basically gifts donated by players who maybe stepped out of line. So I mean, we have a fun way of making guys pay up. Maybe, you know, say they miss an event or something. Well, they're going to have to buy us a sweet video game. So that's a fun way to keep guys in check.
It's a fun way to keep it loose.
That's right.
It's like you walk into Dave and Buster's in the Oriole Clubhouse.
Outstanding. No alcohol, though. That's right.
Exactly. Keep that in mind. Live chat here on MASNsports.com. We're hanging out with Chris Davis, as you can tell. And let's hear from Nicholas. What's your favorite part of being with the Orioles?
My favorite part of being with the Orioles, you know what? I really enjoy playing here. Growing up in Texas, being a Rangers fan, that was really all I knew. And Texas is a football state, no matter what anybody tells you. Football is almost a religion there. So to come up here and be traded to a team that has so much history and really the fans, you know, understand the game. And that was something that I thought was really cool. Just the fans' knowledge of the game. Really to be a part of a town that's a baseball town. I mean, 2012 was one of the best years I've had in my career, just going to the postseason and seeing what this town was like in a postseason atmosphere. So we definitely want to get back to that and have some more of that around here.
A lot of, for those of us who've been here a long time, a lot of winning down through the years in Baltimore baseball history. It had been a while since in recent years. Did you know about that history, or did you kind of find out about it along the way?
I knew a little bit about it, just being a baseball fan, but obviously as I got traded over here and started to meet people and learn different things, you found out how rich in tradition or rich in history this organization is. And you know, like I said, Texas is a football state. Coming up here and really being around baseball minds, and I mean, I'll never be able to describe how awesome that one or the two games were in the playoffs. And I mean, that's something that really motivates us, and we haven't forgotten that.
Absolutely. That was a lot of fun. Let's take some more questions from the fans for Chris Davis. Jeff wants to know, if you could play with any Hall of Fame player, who would you choose?
That's a really good question. I think it would be cool to play with Brooks. Playing with Manny right now and seeing some of the ridiculous plays that he makes for a guy that won 16 Gold Gloves. I mean, I can't even imagine that. So I think he would be a really fun guy to play with. It's hard to choose a first baseman because that means I probably wouldn't be playing first. So I'll stick with Brooks.
Have you had a chance to meet him?
I have. I met him a couple of years ago. Great guy. I mean, one of the things that I really love about him is that I heard he was just an unbelievable person, you know, and a lot of times you see a guy that's a great player on the field, and you don't know what kind of person he's out the field. To find out that he was just a first-class human it made me like him that much more.
You know, when you hear the cliche, they've never said a bad word about the guy. This is the guy that is totally
That's
true
who they're
about.
talking about. I believe it.
Hall of Fame player in person, and so loved here in Baltimore for all the right reasons. Chris, let's take one from Alexa. What's been your favorite moment of your career?
The postseason was a lot of fun. Last year, opening day, hitting the grand slam, that was pretty cool. There are a few times during the course of a game that you really feel like you're kind of connected to the crowd. You know, when they get like really jacked up or something that's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing, or something that doesn't happen very often, that you can tell that you're kind of like, it's almost like you're connected with the fans when something like that goes on the field. And for me, I had always not really had bad opening days, but I'd never really had a memorable one. And we were obviously playing the Twins here, and it was a tie ball game, and I hit that grand slam. And as I hit first base, I just heard this place erupt, and it was just, I mean, I I got chills when I hit my first home run in the big league, and it was almost the same feeling running around the bases. So that's, to this point, is my favorite moment.
That's interesting. You could take it in. You could hear the crowd, and you took it in a little bit.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't because, just what's going on in the game. But that was just one of those moments where, the game was on the line, and it was just, I don't know, it was really special to me, and it's something that I'll never forget.
Very cool. Chris Davis with us here on our live chat, MASNsports.com. Adam Jones will be along a little later. Christian wants to know, what's your favorite ballpark to hit at, and what is your favorite activity to do while on the road?
This is probably my favorite ballpark to hit in, just because it's such a good ballpark. It's a cool place to hit in. I really like Pittsburgh. I was a couple of days ago. Kind of went nuts there, and I thought it was just a cool park to be in. I like the location, but it's hard to choose anywhere but here. What I do on the road.
Favorite activity? Well, yeah, favorite activity while you're on the road.
I don't really do much. I'm pretty boring outside of baseball. A lot of guys go out. We just go out to eat. Those are some of the best times. Darren O'Day and I are really close. Tommy Hunter, and a lot of times we'll get a big group of guys just go out to eat, and it's kind of cool to be outside of baseball and kind of be away from the game,
right,
and wear each other out in a different forum.
There'd be some fun conversations going on there.
Yeah.
If only we could take quotes from those, we'd have some material. Let's hear from Josh. What happened to the handshake you and Adam Jones used to do last season?
I'll tell you exactly what happened to that handshake. I saw David Ortiz and Jared Saltalamacchia do it, and I said no more, never again. So we're going to have to come up with our own thing. I've had a lot of people ask me that question, and they love the handshake. And in baseball, you got so many guys doing so many things when they hit home runs. Some of them are warranted, some of them aren't. But I thought that was something that we had that was special, that Adam and I shared. And then I can't say this without not smiling, but I saw those guys doing it. And
they stole your gig.
I was a little hurt. Yeah, I was a little hurt. Be original.
That was the one where you kind of...
Yeah, like the four, I don't want to think about it anymore. It's upsetting.
But a new one could be in the works at some point.
Yeah, Nelly's brought his Latin swag here, so they've got the the handshake and the noises. I don't have that much time to sit there and think about that.
Takes a lot of work.
It really does.
Oh, Red Sox stealing Orioles stuff. Give me a break. Tom wants to know, will there be any birthday antics for the skipper today?
Is today his birthday?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad I found that out. Well, now there might be. Got to make a call. Somebody might be popping out of a cake today or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find out how old Buck is. He's got to be like what, 37?
Yeah, maybe 38.
Somewhere around there, early late 30s.
Well, you got some time to work on it.
Right,
See, you learned something new here today. Neil wants to know, which would you rather fight, 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Now, there's a question you didn't think you'd get today.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the one horse-sized duck, just because that would be awesome to see. And I don't know if you're a Duck Dynasty fan, but apparently they made the world's biggest duck call, so I would just woo him, and then it's game over.
That's one I didn't even expect. Tell you, that might be the best one we've got yet.
That guy's having a good Friday right now.
He is having a good Friday. Margaret wants to know, are any of the Orioles a better dancer than Adam Jones?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I know why they're saying this, because he dances before every game, which is actually kind of started with me in spring training. As you can tell, basically anytime we can goof off or have fun, we do. When we have to be serious, we are. But any chance we get to goof around, we take the full advantage of it. And we have this little walkout song that we take the field to this year. And I told Jonesy, I said, nobody really paid attention, but in spring training, the cameraman was always zoomed in on my butt when I took the field. And I'm like, God. So I started waiting until he would get really close, and I would clench my cheeks real quick. And so it started this whole see who can do the most ridiculous thing, but be very subtle about it. And now Jonesy's dropping it like it's hot in the center field during a game. Apparently Ryan Webb is a really good dancer. I don't see it, but I've heard stories.
Interesting. Interesting. We learn so much from these chats.
You really
I'll tell
do.
you. This is unbelievable. All right. Chick, who loves the long ball, wants to know, after the 12 season, how did it feel to see hundreds of fans waiting for you to come home in the wee hours of the morning? That was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. And you know, we were obviously really tired and really frustrated with losing. And really the series, we felt like kind of got away from us. We had a chance, that we thought we had a chance to win it. But at that point, your adrenaline has worn off, the emotional charge is worn off, and I don't want to say you're depressed, but you're at a kind of a low. You know, you realize that everything's over and that our kind of magical run had come to an end. To see everybody at the park waiting for us really picked us up. Yeah, and I mean, it was one of those things where we least expected it, and it was just another one of those moments where you feel like really connected to the fans, and it showed us that that they were behind us, not only when we're on the field, but when we're struggling, when things are going bad, that they're behind us. So that was pretty cool.
It was cool. And for years here, attendance was down a little bit from where it had been, and people had said no one's going to Oriole games. But my point was the team had a 14-year losing streak.
Got to give them something to watch.
You got to give them something to watch. And when the winning came back, instantly the fans came back, and that connection was pretty special.
Yeah, and we talked about the history a little bit. Obviously, playing against the Orioles, I knew what kind of seasons they had before I got here, and to kind of be a part of the group that brought winning back to Baltimore was cool, because we had heard about the fan attendance and how it wasn't up like it used to be, and like you said, it was almost immediate turnaround.
Yeah.
We started seeing fans, and it was a very diverse crowd, which was cool. It wasn't just old Orioles fans. It was younger fans, people that were kind of getting back into the game. So it was pretty special.
Sure was. Let's hear from Tony. Which Oriole drives the worst car?
Oh, that's tough. I get here pretty early, so I don't see a lot of the cars, and we have a vast number of people that park in our lot, so I'm not sure whose is which. I really want to say Steve Pierce, just because I want to say Steve Pierce, but I think he's got a Camaro, which is just, I think he's probably got a Def Leppard jean jacket too, and we always wear out Piercy because he's so easy to wear out. But I really don't know. That's a good question.
Probably a lot of nice cars in there. Probably aren't too many that aren't too nice here. Let's see. Sandra wants to know, what are your personal goals this year on the field?
My goal personally is to do whatever I can to help us get to the World Series. I think obviously after last year, everybody wants to know, am I going to hit 50 again? I'm not on pace to do that, but crazier things have happened. That was really something this offseason that I thought about. To have a really good year and to miss the postseason, it's kind of bittersweet. So you understand how much better it is when you go to the playoffs and you give yourself a chance to win a World Series. So for me, everything I can do, whatever I can do to help us get back to the postseason and try to win a World Series, that's my goal.
Yeah. We probably can't let you go without asking this question. It's kind of a serious one. A lot of fans want to see Chris Davis in Baltimore for many years to come down the road. And Dan Duquette has said we're probably going to table anything in this season. So is that where it does stand right now? Talks are kind of quiet or dormant?
Yeah, it's quiet right now. And to be honest with you, it's something I try not to think about because it's too easy to get emotional about it. Obviously, this has been, like I've said, a second home for me and Jill. We've really fallen in love with the city. The baseball, I think, kind of speaks for itself. This was a place that gave me an opportunity to be an everyday player when another team had given up on me, and really this is where my career took off. I'd always pictured myself playing for one team my whole career. I think that's kind of an admirable thing about guys. I know it doesn't always work out that way, but I would love to stay here. Obviously, right now we're not talking about anything, so I'm just trying to stay in the moment right now.
Yeah, that'll probably happen in the winter again, maybe.
I hope so.
Good stuff. Let's hear from Jennifer. What's your best Little League memory?
I played on a team when I was, I want to say 11. I think I was 11 years old, and we were terrible. We only won one game all season, and the game we won, I had broken my ankle, my left ankle, a few weeks before, so I'd obviously missed some games. And I came back, and I guess my arms were so strong from being on crutches for 4 to 6 weeks, however long I was on there. I had like ridiculous strength, and I hit a home run early in the game, kind of limped around the bases. And they ended up, the team we were playing was the best team in the league that came back, tied the game, and the bases were loaded, and a guy had me down 0-2, and he hung us, Trey Sloan, I remember Trey. He hung a slider, and I hit it out of the park, across the street into these pine trees. It was probably the furthest home run I've hit to this day, as an 11-year-old. Think about it. And I remember they were like, it was so ridiculous because it's Little League, but this is how jacked up people get about it. They're like parents like crying, like hugging me. It was a special moment. Yeah.
But you don't remember it all.
No, I don't remember all of it, or the emotions or tears on my jersey.
That may have been when you became Crush, really.
It may have. That was the only game we won. We were so bad, man. Not our team, we just had bad luck. Great team.
All right, our staff here is wondering if you will use one word to describe a few of your teammates. Let's start with Nelson Cruz.
Flamboyant. Bet you didn't think I was going to say that.
J.J. Hardy.
Vanilla. That's easy. That's easy.
How about Manny?
Ridiculous.
Nick Markakis.
Quiet.
Buck.
Knowledgeable.
Very
That's a
good
tough one.
political answer,
I like
too.
how you
Well done.
wedged Buck in the middle right there, so I had
Chris Tillman.
redneck.
How about Matt Wieters?
God, Wieters is tough, man. I will say underappreciated.
Wow.
Oh, what's up?
How about Chris on Chris?
Me on me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Without the E.
You didn't skip a beat.
No.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Well done. Brian wants to know, how good are you at ping pong? Who's the best and worst in the clubhouse?
The best is arguably JJ. He's really good. Steve Pierce is really good. He plays like 30 feet off the table, though, so I don't really think it's legit. I'm not great. I hit everything long off the table. It's not for me.
The short and the soft game is not part of your...
No, I just want to crush the ball, it's just...
Of course.
Right, that's what I do. And yeah, it's not for me. I've tried, but I can't get into it.
You're good at some other things. Andrew wants to know, who's the next strongest guy on the team after you?
I'd say it's probably a battle between me and Nelly. When I was in Texas, we had a lot of big, strong guys. That was just kind of like our MO. And when I came over here, kind of got to know all the staff and everybody and the strength staff and started working out again. And Nelly's a strong guy. He's a big guy. He and her probably wanted to.
Hitting a lot of home runs, people, obviously, they're your big, strong guy, and they think it comes from the size and the strength. Does it? Are there a lot of other factors that go into that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with bat speed. I think a lot of it is more about bat speed than it is strength. I've always said that people ask, how do you hit for power? I don't think it's something that you can coach. It's like, how do you throw hard? There are certain things you can do to maybe strengthen the muscles that, control your arm speed or your hips or your torso if you're talking about hitting. But you either have it or you don't. Mm-hmm. And, I've always been, I guess they refer to it as country strong. But I've always been kind of baseball strong too. I've always had power. So I think the older I got and the more I learned how to work out and what I needed to do to kind of help myself stay on the field every day, I kind of learned how to manipulate that a little bit, not a lot though.
I see. Do you ever try to hit a home run?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. You guys see me swing. Sometimes I almost fall down when I swing. There are times when you feel good or a certain situation. Look at this guy just getting worn out with powder. And sorry. You know a pitcher. You kind of have an idea of what he's going to do, and you might gear up a little bit, but I try not to. That's usually when I get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it seems like it's a very smooth swing, and bam, the ball goes a long way.
Yeah, that's usually what I'm going for, but sometimes I get excited, and I just can't hide it.
Somebody should make a song about that. Molly wants to know what's going through your mind when you stop in the box.
Step in the box?
Step in the box. I guess that's what that means.
I can't stop in the box.
Yeah, I know. You got to keep going.
Sometimes I'm thinking about my walkout song. Like sometimes I'll sing to myself. Some days it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It just depends on kind of what's going on. When you're feeling good, it feels like you feel like you're 10 feet tall in the box. You know, when you're feeling bad, you feel like you're about 2 feet tall. So it just depends on the day.
Right. And game situation probably has a lot to do with that.
Yep.
Travis wants to know who would win in a fight, Chris Davis or Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris. He's probably the greatest human being to ever live. You know, he's probably in here right now. We don't even know it.
He's after Jones. That's when his chat starts. I'm not hosting that one. Nick wants to know who would win a foot race, you with David Lowe on your back or Matt Wieters?
Probably me with
Cold,
David Lowe
Nick.
on my back. That's just wrong. I don't know. David Lowe's never been piggybacked on me, so I mean,
That's right.
we'll have to see. Maybe we'll put that to the test.
Courtney wants to know who's the funniest teammate.
O'Day's hard to beat. He's a very intelligent person. He'll let you know that too. So, but he's very witty. He has a good sense of humor. And the thing about our team is that guys understand and really appreciate the timing that it takes to set up a good prank or a joke. You know, I mean, you may see something going on for months before you actually get to the punchline, which is some of the best part. You know, I mean, timing is everything.
The one in New York that Buck pulled on O'Day.
That was good.
An all-timer.
That was good. That was really good. And it was funny to see Buck pull a prank on somebody because you didn't expect it. Darren keeps saying, he's like, oh, I knew it wasn't, I knew he wasn't being serious. And I was like, your face knew that he was being serious, so can't hide that.
You know, you guys have such a good time. And in my opinion, it serves you well on a day like today. You had a tough loss last night, couple tough losses. And that doesn't mean you guys aren't taking those very seriously. But you can't just be, so angst about it every minute of the day. You have to have some even keel to allow you to win tonight's game.
Right. You can't change what's behind you. You know, I think if you've been in a clubhouse after a game that we've lost, it's not a fun place to be in. Particularly, we take it hard when we lose. We don't like to lose, but at the same time, we understand that you have to move on. If you continue to sit here and think about everything that you did wrong or every game that you lost, you're never going to move on and prepare yourself to win the next game. And that's something that we try to do, keep it loose. But at the same time, we take it seriously, win and lose. And nobody on our team likes to lose.
Exactly. Of course not. John, do you like Maryland crabs? And is seafood the best in Maryland?
I do like Maryland crabs. It's up there. I don't know if it's the best. It's a bold statement. I think Ryan Flaherty would probably say Maine has really good seafood, but who goes to Maine? You know what I'm saying?
Ryan.
Yeah, besides Ryan.
A couple other people.
I don't know. It's definitely up there. It's hard to say if it's the best.
Pretty good. Holds its own for sure. This or that question, Miley or Justin Bieber?
Neither. I'd rather
That's a this, that, or the other.
Give up music than listen to either one of those performers. What is Justin Bieber even doing now? I guess
he's dealing with a lot of lawyers
yeah,
already.
He's like completely gone off the radar, or is he
I think maybe so. I can't keep up with the kid stars and their struggles.
Yeah, I try not to.
They got whole networks to do that.
I really, I'm disappointed to see, how he's gone because I really thought he had a bright future. Really did.
I can see you're a little.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know. Let's go on to the next question, you guys. Just bringing the mood down. Josh wants to know, you said you're all about baseball in season, but what about the off season?
Hunting, football, golf, and that's about it. I mean, I pretty much rotate the three.
Full plate.
Yeah, I love to hunt. I actually had Darren and Tommy down this past off season. Took them out to a couple places, and you can find me in a full beard and a lot of camo in the off season or on the golf course. That's it. And if it's Sunday, don't even try to text me or call me or have like 12 games on, fantasy going. I mean, you bet I'm plugged in.
Absolutely. All right, Jim Hunter himself has a question for you, our MASN broadcaster. He wants to know which O's announcer can you imitate and can you give your impression?
I want to do Bordy, but I don't do like a legit Mike Bordick. We do like this cartoon voice back and forth. Can't do it right now. I don't have the voice in me to do it, but we don't hear a lot of the announcers during the game. Obviously, we're playing.
Right.
I think Gary is probably O'Day's man crush. He keeps telling him he's going to try to get him to leave his voicemail, record his voicemail. But, you know, we have a lot of unique voices. Joe Angel is a guy that the first time I heard him talk on the bus, I was like, whoa, it's real. How do you do that? And Gary's kind of the same way.
Some good voices on that
We do.
broadcast team. Absolutely. Brandy wants to know, how do you feel coming back from the injury?
I feel good. I feel really good. I was kind of nervous coming back, not knowing. I'd heard from everybody, take it slow and make sure, you know, this is something that you have to be very careful with. And it's felt really, really good. I haven't really had any pain the first couple of games. It was a little stiff, but other than that, it's good. The worst part is I felt like right when I got hurt, I was kind of starting to get my time. I hit a home run in Toronto, and I was kind of starting to come around. And then, yeah, it's almost like you have to start all over again. So I think the 3 home run game the other night was a good sign.
I would think so.
Hopefully we can keep that going.
You made an interesting point, I think it was yesterday before the game, when you said when you checked your swing a couple times in Pittsburgh, that was actually a good sign.
Yeah, that was probably the most painful thing for me with the oblique is starting my swing and stopping, because it's just a lot of force, a lot of pressure on the oblique, and I did it a couple times in Pittsburgh and actually kind of forgot until after the fact, and I was like, oh, that's a good sign that didn't hurt.
Question from Amy, favorite memory with a fan? I guess she means a fan encounter or something along those lines.
It's a tough one.
Probably been a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of fans will do cool things, you know, throughout the course of a season. Whether it's bringing you a picture. There's a guy here that we got into this like trading thing a couple of years ago. He had a picture of me or something, or like a bat that I used during a game, and I ended up trading him a jersey for or something like that. That was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, fans will do some pretty cool things throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and you guys try to get with them as much as you can amidst all the things you're doing out here, which is a lot.
Well, and I don't want fans to ever think that just because we don't stop and sign one time that it's because we're blowing them off or anything. A lot of times, you don't see all the stuff that we have to do right when we get done with BP. We might have to do something with Jeff or Jay or Maddie or somebody like that, and there are just things that we have to take care of, but we definitely appreciate the fans.
Yeah, and that's just sometimes I don't think they understand that part. And like you said, there might be a meeting you're called to.
Right.
And you have to be in the clubhouse at a certain time.
I heard what you said about my coat.
How you doing, man?
Good to see you.
We got a walk-on from Adam Jones.
Yeah.
Tonight there'll be a walk-off.
Hopefully. Nah, I don't know. Walk-off.
Big lead.
Walk-off is huge lead, hopefully.
I see you hammering food in there.
Yeah, there's some pizza in there. A couple real nasty ones, by the way, like a margarita and something with anchovies and olives and stuff.
Oh.
No, I just had the pepperoni.
Adam, Chris said you guys got to work on a new handshake. The Red Sox stole it.
Okay, we'll figure out something.
We will.
Yeah.
They asked me about your dance moves, too.
Be intimate.
People are watching.
I know, I see that.
But yesterday was the first day I could actually hear the fans like, oh, like as he's breaking it down.
They nasty.
Watching every move.
It's like like one of them little strip videos. BET Uncut back in the days.
Uncut.
Yeah, stay up about after midnight. They used to play, actually at 2 a.m. they used to play the BET Uncut, and that's when the video Tip Drill it first surfaced. I was about 6,
What were
7,
you doing?
about 16, 17.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Just being a nasty 16, 17-year-old. Exactly.
You guys should just have more fun.
Well, I mean, how much more fun you want me to have, Steve? Have a lot already.
Exactly.
We have 23 flavors.
Exactly. Well, Chris, thank you for coming in. Adam, we're going to be getting with you here and keep this live chat going. Awesome time. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys. I'm going to go grab some pizza.
Absolutely. Plenty over there. And don't go away, you guys, because we're coming back more with Adam Jones next on MASNsports.com.